Welcome back, everyone. It is the end of a first day of our camp and crawl. Oh, look at that, a new stick fell. And we are taking a look at the Pitbull RC XL. This is the Class 2 475 size tire of the version of the Rock Beast. And we are testing today. This is the Komp compound. Alien compound will be featured in the future, but today we're testing the Komp. Inside of the Rock Beast today we have TIM 10 dual stage inserts, very similar to a Proline dual stage insert, just used to be $20 for a whole set of them, but can't really get them anymore. They used to be on Amazon, and I guess the secret got out and now they don't exist. Ooh, got my rear tire a little bit too much down into that divot, and the front passenger side is a little bit up in the air. Let's see if we can set up. We're gonna roll out. That's not as much tire as it is driver air. Although we did have a little bit of side slide. Wasn't too bad, but I need to pay a little more attention. Pitbull Rock Beast, definitely one of the more expensive tires on the market. These being the Komp compound, they're a little bit cheaper than the Aliens. I believe these are around $35 for a pair, or $40 for a pair, where the Aliens are like closer to $50. These are still pretty expensive. These are still more expensive than most other tires on the market. There's a whole bunch of side slide from the rear end there. Our front is sliding down. Man, not doing well on the side hill so far. And this is not sidewall collapse. This is tire slippage. Give the Rock Beast another shot here. Let's go above our line. Ooh, I may have cut too early there. Now the side's gonna, or the rear end is gonna slide, which is normally desired when we start turning up, but I started my turn up a little early. Whew, that sun is beating down on me. It is about 6:30 p.m. and I've got the sun right in my face right now. Boy, these just slide sideways. Anytime I try to turn up, we get a whole bunch of side slide from both the front and rear. Now these have not been run. Save for around the backyard, because when I mounted them on these bead locks, good Lord, there was something funky going on with the bead lock, so I ran them in the backyard to make sure that they would stay on. But other than that, they are unrun. We're going to give it one more shot before we fail the side hill. But Pitbull's claim with the Komp compound is they get better as they break in. Now, in my opinion, you know, sure, every tire gets a little bit better as it breaks in, as it kind of gets that edge knocked off on the lug and kind of gets feathered in a little bit. Everything gets a little bit better, but if you're advertising that your tires get better as you break them in, I don't know that I trust that advertisement. And what I'm seeing now is just so much side slide, and the Rock Beasts are just not really doing well on the side hill. The front is starting to be able to go up. Now that rear end is going to get caught in that crevice there, and that crack in the rock, and I'm pretty sure we're going to roll out at some point. See if I can settle the front. Oh, that's going to make it worse. Can I reverse and settle? A little bit, but I think now we're going to go, don't go backwards. Just sliding. I do believe that we're dealing with a lug issue here. I don't believe this is compound. And I don't believe that this is insert. I'm not seeing sidewall collapse. I am seeing decent conformity from the tires, not too much, not too little. I think that this is just lug design, does not like side hill. Very, very, very gentle. Have to be very deliberate with our movements on the side hill. I mean, once we get pointed upwards, you know, it holds well. I can drive up the rock well. It holds itself in place. Let me slow down, see if I can reposition coming down. Now I got to go up and over and come back. That portion of it's decent, but it's not exceptionally hard. Oh. Let's see if we can avoid the rollout. Not impressed with the side hill performance. I may take the Rock Beast back to the side hill at some point and just drive it around on there off camera. Oh, we have, I believe, possibly broken a rod end in the rear. Something going on with that axle, although that might just be the body. We're gonna have to take a look at the rear end. I think I broke something in the rear end. It's looking a little funky there. Which, with all the rolling off the side hill, that won't surprise me. Yeah, definitely something not right there. Let's go take a look. What do we got? Oh man, yeah, got another snapped rod end. We'll go up top and show you. All right, and yeah, there we go. The side hill claims yet another rod end. That is the third rod end that we have broken on the side hill since we started recording videos. Oh, I'm gonna need it. Just those roll-offs are hard on those rod ends, especially when you roll off the top of the obstacle or near the top of the obstacle and it just rolls downhill. It is tough on some of these parts. Now I am currently still using factory element rod ends, probably still will. Might eventually switch to RPM, but I need to take some measurements and everything to make sure my wheelbase remains the same. And personally, I don't really think the element rod ends are overly weak. I think that well, that obstacle is just hard on components if you are rolling off the hill constantly, the side hill constantly, which the Rock Beasts were doing. And we've rolled off quite a bit today with the Rock Beasts and with the Hyrax and some of our other tires. It's been kind of a tough day on the old side hill. But there's our brake. Just kind of sheared it right where the rod ends, where the rod stopped inside the rod end. So we'll get that replaced. We'll get back on the trail. I'm actually not sure if I'm going to do it tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get it replaced, but I don't know if I'll be back tonight or tomorrow on the rocks. It's about 6:30. I kind of just feel like relaxing and maybe throwing a fishing pole in the water. So we'll see. We'll see how long this takes to replace, and we'll either get back to this review here in a little bit or maybe in the morning. But either way, we will pick up where we left off. The Rock Beasts failed the side hill miserably, and with the breakage, that's even a bigger failure. So we'll see you here in a few minutes, people. All right, we are back. That was about just a 10-minute repair, no big deal. Decided to go ahead and just come back down here and knock this out. So let's see how the Rock Beasts do here. things have been struggling today on this obstacle. This obstacle has become very, very slippery. It spent a couple weeks underwater. The surface of it has been pretty well polished. So I think we've got about our slickest rock out here right now. And yeah, the rock beast's not able to do much so far. Whew, man, it is a scorcher right now. I'm drenched with sweat. Historically, this has not been that difficult of an obstacle, but again, I think being underwater that long really did some damage on this guy. And the rock beasts are not able to get a grip at all. Well, we're going to bypass it. Very unimpressed so far. Not good on the side hill. Not good on obstacle number 2. Let's see our new obstacle. How we do here. Struggling to pull on. There we go. That's not bad. Now, once we get up here, what we kind of need to do is straddle this gap. Ooh, my foot's slipping. I'm about to fall off this rock. There we go. That's not bad. So, rock beasts, interestingly, Pitbull tires are scale tires. I don't know that every tire that they offer is a scale tire, but I think it is. But the thing is, they're scale tires like from the UTV world. So it's kind of interesting because we're putting them on rock crawlers on, trucks and stuff. And I think they are technically a scale tire, but again, they're a scale tire from the UTV world. So that's kind of interesting. Rock beasts are a very good looking tire. They're a tire that you want to like. Just, Rock Beast is a pretty cool name. They look pretty cool. And for what you pay for them, they ought to be damn good. And on these couple obstacles, we're kind of going through here without any problems. But man, that side hill especially was really bad. That second obstacle, I'm not too worried about that. Nothing, there's only one tire today that I've driven that's been able to make it up that. And that was the Mickey Thompson Baja MTZ from RC 4-Wheel Drive. And even it took a minute. But yeah, these were like Amazon quality on the side hill. That was bad. But here, forward drive seems good. Positionability seems good so far. I'm not having any issues with the rear out pushing the front. So I suppose one could hope maybe we've got a good tire in every way except for side hilling, which, would make it not a great tire, but not everybody does a lot of side hilling. And that's a pretty extreme side hill, I'll admit. The angle is not extreme, but it's somewhat steep. That's pretty good there. A little bit more slip than you'd like to see on the kind of downward exit on a side hill, but not bad. Able to maintain direction pretty well. No significant problems. But that first side hill obstacle, it's somewhat steep, but more importantly, it is really uneven surface. It's really pocketed. There's a lot to upset just the balance of the rig there, but that's why I think it's a really good test of tires for side hilling, because if you can side hill on that obstacle, you can side hill on a lot of obstacles. No issues coming up the first part of this guy. Don't tell me I haven't been recording the whole time. Did I just forget to pause? Okay, no big deal. Just trying to make sure I didn't repeat mistakes of the past of getting my pause and record mixed up and then missing half the course. So I'll either have to try to cut some of that out in the edit or just be kind of a weird part of the video. But anyway, the Rock Beasts are a tire that I want to like. I like the name. I like the way they look. I like Pitbull as a company. I don't know why. It's just one of those companies, you go to their website and it's just a company, anyhow for me, that I just want to like. But honestly, these tires are not really doing it for me. Especially, you know, when I started these reviews, I didn't even talk about cost at all. Because to me, cost wasn't really that important. But yeah, it kind of is. Because my initial thoughts were, and I mean still are, the cost of the tire doesn't change how the tire performs, right? And that's ultimately what I'm looking at, is how does this tire perform? I'm not trying to compare this tire or any tire that I review up against something else. I'm not trying to compare the Pitbull Rock Beast up against a Proline flat iron, for instance. But I do want to see how do the Pitbull Rock Beast perform. And so my original thought was, well, the cost of the tire really has nothing to do with performance. And I still believe that. And so I don't take the cost of the tire into how it performs. However, my overall opinion of a tire is definitely influenced by how much it costs. And so that's why I kind of started talking about it. And I kind of try not to harp on it too much, because at the end of the day, the tires cost what they cost. And again, god dang it, cost doesn't affect performance. But I feel like it's at least something that should at least be called out, because, you know, who wants to pay $80 for a set of tires that performs like a $30 set of tires? So I will talk about the cost, but ultimately it doesn't change how it performs. It just kind of changes whether I would recommend the tire or not. So here, the Rock Beast not able to pull onto the obstacle slowly, but with a little bit of wheel speed, they're able to go over and hook the sidewall, which is kind of what we do on this obstacle. And they were able to do it pretty predictably. There wasn't a lot of drama, not a lot of, you know, unpredictable bouncing or anything like that. It went right where I pointed it. And that means that the Rock Beast, while maybe requiring a little bit of wheel speed to get up some obstacles, should be pretty consistent. And that is what we look for if a tire requires wheel speed. Needing wheel speed doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad tire. Obviously, if you can creepy crawl up something, in my opinion, that's better than if you have to use wheel speed or bump it up. But, oh, that was just driver mistake. The tire can't change the idiot behind the wheel. But yeah, so I would rather be able to creepy crawl up everything, but if you have to use wheel speed, it's not that big of a deal, as long as it can be consistent, as long as it's predictable, as long as you feel like you could repeat that same maneuver over and over again and get the same result. Needing to bump or needing to use wheel speed isn't the end of the world. And we hang that rear pumpkin here and see how the front tires do. Front tire grip only, how can they pull the rear off of a hang up? And not able to do it just straight away, so let's shuttle a little bit, see if we can find, there we go, able to pull it up enough to where the rear tires got something to hook onto, but that's not that great. Definitely not enough forward drive to only depend on one axle. And we come up to our steep guy. Whoa, I thought that was going to be good. I thought they were going to pull just right up on there and walk up, but then they slid back. There's the pull up. A little bit of bounce. Ooh, I need to slow it down, I think. Let's settle that front end if we can. There we go. Can we go with the super slow? Nope. It's gonna make me move. I gotta say, if nothing else, the rock beaster is kind of irritating me. Get that pull up. This tire should have enough forward drive to walk up this obstacle, in my opinion. If you're going to sell tires that cost $70 to $80 a set and need better foams on top of that, they need to be better than this. Not enough grip to keep it on. We get slide back. It won't just sit there. I'm gonna have to try it with a little bit of wheel speed. Now we get traction hop. Gotta watch out for the tree. Let's use a little more of the rock face. See, oh, there's a roll off. And of course now we're upside down. All right, now I'm PO'd. They get one more shot, which I probably shouldn't give them. Because I'm not seeing any promise here. They don't even, they kind of struggle just to get onto the obstacle. Okay, another failure. I believe, what's the only other tire that failed this today? Was there one? The KLR Trail Specs may have failed this. I think they did. But that's a trail tire. Pitbull advertises this as good enough for your daily crawling and good enough to compete with. Well, I wouldn't take these to a competition. Not from what I've seen. You know, and sometimes when you're reviewing a tire and you have minor issues, you can have a tire insert mismatch. And that's why with some tires I will do a second review. But I only do that if the tire is showing me promise. And the Pitbulls really aren't showing me promise on any of the more difficult obstacles. They're even going to struggle here. And they did it. That's not terrible, but not impressed. All right, our loose gravel hill climb is kind of loose again. This morning the ground was still pretty wet and this was pretty packed in, but it's dried out a lot. But Rockbeast's able to go up that without any problems. Minimal throttle, no issues there. So overall, trouble on the side hill, well, failure on the side hill, failure on the slick rock, failure on the steep incline and some struggling on some other obstacles. And these tires, again, the Komp compound, I'd meant to look before here, but I forgot. I think they're either $34.99 or $39.99 a pair for the Komp compound. So let's call them close to $70 for the tires, and then they come with just standard open cell foams. So then you got to get better foams on top of that. So you're looking at close to $100 to get into some Rock Beasts with decent foams, and they're just not worth it. They're not. There's a lot better tires out there that do a lot better. These are, quite honestly, Amazon quality for Gucci prices. So I don't know, guys. You know, Rock Beasts are kind of, or Pitbull tires in general, are kind of one of those tires that I hear people kind of either love them or hate them. Again, it's one of those companies I want to like. I like Rock. I've got this tire on a trail rig, and they do really well on trails. It's a really good trail tire. It's been really durable. It does everything on the trails that I want it to, including it is good in the loose dirt. It is good with surface transition. It is good in the wet, but on the trails that I take that rig on, it is a hard body rig that weighs a lot, and so I don't take it up any extreme inclines or anything like that. And this is proving that I wouldn't. So, you know, not a good investment. Not worth your time or money. I would steer clear, but we'll test the alien compounds because we've got them. So, till next time, everybody, have a good one.